Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Marvel Legends Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure Wave Wasp and Ant-Man figures review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey I'm fucking with. Hype beast we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
6 figures in a wave. You're going to need all 6 figures to complete the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure. Quick look at the artwork on the side of the box for Wasp. And there's the artwork for Ant-Man. Alright, I got Ant-Man and Wasp out of the package. I'm hitting you with a little 2-for-1 special just because it's my channel and there are no rules. So here's a random picture of me and Todd in New York City for no reason. And going into their bios, Ant-Man's bio reads, Scott Lang suits up as Ant-Man with a specialized suit engineered by PEM technology that lets him blast into any battle, big or small. And Wasp, Hope Van Dyne gears up with signature stingers and high-tech wings as the buzzworthy hero Wasp. Ant-Man is packed in with the left leg to complete the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure, and Wasp is packed in with the head. Ladies first, taking a look at Hope Van Dyne, aka the Wasp, and out of the package she came with her helmet on, so I figured I'd go back to square one and then just go through everything she was packed in with. And she also comes with this little apparatus here, which you're supposed to attach when she is not utilizing her wings. It looks like the wings will come out of this little apparatus, I suppose, but that's how it looks without the wings out, and that looks clean. And then they pack in a second little apparatus with the wings extended, and these all move independently of each other. They all just move up and down though, they don't move back and forth, but this plugs in the same fashion as the previous one, and that's how that looks. So that's pretty cool. And these are a cool texture. Actually, it almost feels like a bicycle light or something like that. And then she has 2 fisted hands out of the package, and aside from that, she also has a set of open flat palms, so that's cool, especially for simulating when she's flying or maybe using her stinger power. I do believe she's going to have some sort of electrical shock or stinger power in the movie. So this was cool. You know, oftentimes I complain that Legends forget to put in additional hands, so I'm glad they did that for her. And then just taking a closer look at this head sculpt before I swap on her additional head sculpt and show you her last accessory. I do like the design of this helmet, especially the fact that you can see her eyes through the visor. And I like this, man. I like the shape of it. It looks pretty good. It's not the greatest paint job, but I really do like the design of this. Taking a close look at her unmasked head sculpt, and I think this looks pretty good. I think the likeness is definitely there. I wouldn't say it's spot on, but it's a very good usage of this new face scanning technology that Marvel Legends is using. And the actress who plays Hope Van Dyne is Evangeline Lilly. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. But I do feel like this looks like her from the movie. It's definitely a decent likeness. And just going over her deco a bit, I do like what they've done with both costumes here, and we'll be getting into Ant-Man shortly, but they both have some very nice texturing in the costume and some different layers. And this definitely looks like a tight pair of pants, but you can see the different textures and different colors and things in the costume. So I do think they did a very nice job replicating the look from the movie and really going the distance, as they often do with the movie figures. I'm just not really a huge fan of the sculpt for Wasp. She looks a little weird, especially here in the midsection or the hip area. Something seems a bit off. And this might be a brand new sculpt, which is another thing that they often do. I don't know if there's much reused parts here from any other female Legends figures. If you can spot anything, then let me know in the comments below. But overall, the deco here does look pretty nice. In terms of articulation, the head is on a ball joint. I don't think I showed that yet. Did I show the peg? No, I didn't. So there's a look at the ball peg. Pretty easy to remove and put it back on. No issues there. You got to be a little careful. Obviously, this is a softer plastic. You don't want those to be bent and look funny, but she will look down pretty far. And most importantly, she will look up pretty far, so when you get her in a flying pose, then it looks authentic, so that's good. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're going to come up just about that far. You can definitely do a full 360. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now with the wings in the way. You get a single jointed elbow, and the arm does swivel there a bit. I really wish she had double jointed elbows. It really limits your options when posing this figure with only single jointed elbows. You get a swivel and a hinge on the wrist. You get upper torso articulation left to right. Not going to really move forward too much. You'll get it to move back pretty far though, which will definitely assist when you're trying to get her in a flying pose. So that's cool. T-joint at the pelvis. Legs are going to come up that far. Split is going to look like that. You do get an upper thigh swivel. You do get a nice double jointed knee. You get a hinge and a pivot on the foot. Yes, yeah, pivot too. So just a hinge and a pivot, nothing at the boot. Limited articulation as most female Marvel Legends figures have. Like I mentioned previously, the wings only move up and down. I actually wish there was a greater range, and these top two wings could move up a bit more, but that's pretty much it. They'll go down that far and up that far, and you can get them close together and sort of in a resting state that way. But really, you should just swap this out when you don't want them extended. But yeah, there's that. Definitely could get a nice, authentic flying pose. So she definitely looks pretty cool there. And taking a close look at Scott Lang, who actually came in the package sort of posed in the same way. They had the helmet fixed in there under his arm, and that was pretty cool. But I do think they did a pretty nice job on this guy. I really do like the costume and the updates on the costume from the previous movie. And let's take a real close look at this head sculpt, which is probably one of the main attractions of this figure. I think for a lot of people, they were excited to see them not only utilize this new face scanning technology, but do it in such a different way, a different expression. You know, we always get the very bland facial expression or something that's over the top, crazy grin or laughing or something like that. That's not going to go over well when you're trying to do something relaxed. And this funny little smirk here definitely displays Paul Rudd's depiction of Scott Lang's quippy, sort of assholey persona, no question about it. Only thing is, I think that my face, the left eye, is a little bit a little bit derpy. Yeah, if you take a close look, you can definitely tell that left eye is a little smaller. The paint is just a little off. They didn't really hit their mark with that. But everything else looks pretty good. His hair looks good. Could have used a little more shading in the hair, I guess. But overall, I do think the likeness to Paul Rudd is there. And I do really appreciate them doing something outside the box and something different with this. Your job at retail is just going to be to look through the different ones and pick one with the best paint job, no question. And there's a look at him with the mask on. And aside from this, there's no other accessories with him. He doesn't come with any interchangeable hands or anything like that, which is unfortunate because a character like Ant-Man is going through a lot of theatrics and running and jumping and a lot of expressions without you seeing his face when he has the helmet on. So some open hands or some different hands would have definitely served this figure well. Not quite sure how I feel about this helmet. I think I like the design from the first movie better, or maybe it's just not translating well on this figure. Maybe it'll look better on screen, but I'm not a huge fan of this particular helmet. But there's a close look at his deco again. A lot of nice texture in here, and mostly just the red and black with some highlights of silver. And it's a very clean paint job. I don't really see too many paint imperfections or anything like that. I do like the paint work on this figure. He looks nice down to the boots. No treads or anything down there, but nice nonetheless. And in terms of articulation, head is on a ball joint. Gonna look down that far. It'll look up pretty far. Shoulders are on a ball joint. They're gonna come up pretty far. Full 360. Upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbow swivel and a hinge on the wrist. Ab crunch is only going to go that far forward, so not really much of an ab crunch going forward. Back, you'll get a bit more. You do get waist swivel, T-joint at the pelvis. Legs will come up that far. Split will look like that. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knee. Yes. You get a hinge and a pivot on the foot. And no rotation at the upper boot, but pretty standard articulation for a male character. That ab crunch is definitely a little lacking, unfortunately, and obviously you can turn left to right and get a decent amount of pivot, so that pivot definitely adds a little character too. Quick size comparisons. On the far left we have the Ant-Man from Captain America's Civil War. This is the S.H. Figuarts Ant-Man, which was probably the best 6-inch Ant-Man that we received so far. He just didn't really come with enough accessories. And on the far right we have the original Marvel Legends Ant-Man from the first solo Ant-Man movie, and I don't know what the heck Marvel Legends was doing with that open face helmet design, and not giving you another head sculpt with the fully masked head. I don't know what happened there, but this newer version in the middle is definitely looking very good in comparison to these other two. It's just that the Figuarts probably has the best articulation. And then we looking at the comic-based Ant-Man and Stinger that I reviewed recently, Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack. On the far left is Stinger, and on the far right we have the Ant-Man, and that's how those stack up. Alright, I'm getting out of here. That rounds out the last regular figures from this wave. I guess I'll be doing the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure next. You know, both figures have their strengths and weaknesses. I do feel like the lack of articulation for Wasp is a little bit disheartening. I mean, that's pretty much my gripe with every single female figure from Marvel Legends, but they did do some really nice things as far as the unmasked head sculpts go and as far as the costumes go. And I'm actually looking forward to seeing this movie. I'm looking forward to seeing the villain, which is going to be Ghost, but Ghost is actually a female in this movie, and traditionally Ghost is Iron Man villain, so that's interesting. You know, they like to mix things up as far as the MCU goes. I'm sure after the movie comes out, these will spike in popularity, especially as far as displays and stuff go. But you know, these are still two that I would recommend you get, especially if you're trying to complete the Build-A-Figure, because you won't be able to complete the Build-A-Figure without picking up these two. So get out there, get on the hunt. As always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.